charity. Charity is absolutely the worst. I just rather burn my money than donate to any charity. This past couple weeks have been absolutely crazy. Today, we're talking about scammers. Oh no, not scammers. Yes, scammers. Today, we're talking about the Completionist, aka Gerard Khalil, and the foundation he's associated with, called the Open Hand Foundation. I know, pretty crazy. The Open Hand Foundation is a non-profit charity organization which claims to support charitable associations such as Alzheimer's Association of America and the Association for FTD. And over the past couple weeks, past 3 weeks or so, it has come out that Open Hand is, or was, sitting on a large sum of $65,000, and that they allegedly have been stealing money from said charity for their own personal gain. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't have known about this except for several fine fellows, which will be credited. Any pictures that I use from their videos or any video I use, they will be credited, and links to their channel will be in the description. So, honestly, I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, right? When I'm using other people's stuff. Credit goes to where credit is due. Also, I'm not saying that any of this is true or not true. I mean, facts are facts here, but some stuff are allegations, right? And I don't want to get in trouble. So, what is true, and what is not, but I'm not saying one way or the other, right? There I go, took care of the lawyers. Wow, let's get into it. You say to yourself, how did Open Hand get all this money, right? How'd they get $65K, right? Well, I'll tell you. Open Hand has quite a lot of different sources of income and revenue. I can't really say revenue, but a lot of sources of income, primarily consisting of Indieland, a basic live event that is established in 2018. Basically, they play indie games and they get donations and stuff, and they try and raise money for a charity. That was established in 2018, as well as a charity golf tournament called PBD West Convenience Cup Challenge, established in 2003, and it's just a golf tournament, right? PBD West is a company founded by Charles Khalil, Gerard's father, who is also the president of Open Hand. And Open Hand states on their website that they have been fundraising since 2003, yet there's no record of the organization even existing prior to 2014, the year it was registered as a non-profit organization. So there's absolutely no trace or source or evidence of them anywhere, right? Except for 2014 when they have the forms, right? After 2014, however, you can see photos on their signage at this golf tournament of profiting Open Hand Foundation, right? From 2014, 2015 onwards, you start seeing evidence showing up, which further supports that claim. Prior to 2015, their signage states that it is just benefiting frontotemporal dementia. And I assume this means it's going toward research and not to dementia, because that wouldn't make any sense. I assume it's going to the research of said thing. From 2014 to 2017, the tax filings show that the Open Hand Foundation has been receiving between $30,000 to $60,000 per golf event. Granted, these filings could be false. I tend to believe they probably aren't, but some people say they might be. That's another allegation. I don't want to get in trouble with the law. I'm afraid of the law. Yeah. Whether or not they were allegedly false or not, I'm purely giving you an example so we can kind of see exactly how much money they rake in estimately, or whatever that word is. This is basically show you how profitable these tournaments actually are. In 2018, Gerard Khalil, aka the Completionist, founded, so to speak, an organization called Indieland, which is a event held on live stream, basically showcasing indie games as well as raising money for charity through donations on the live stream, which means the revenue reported by Open Hand, because they're jointed, right? They go and work together. They support money made on Indieland, then goes to Open Hand. So you would think that you would see the visible revenue go up, the yearly revenue, for open hand go up, and you do. The reported revenue being $113,000, which means $55,000 was raised by Indieland and $58,000 from the golf tournament, which absolutely makes complete sense, right? Makes 100% mental, yes, it makes sense, right? Because that's about average what they make, between 30 and 60,000. They're making 58,000. That makes complete sense. This is where it gets a little strange. In 2019, Indieland reported on Twitter to have raised $109,418, which you would think would make Open Hand's yearly income report go like crazy high, especially if you're adding that, like, it was absolutely almost double the year before, which is great, right? This, however, is not the case, and they only reported raising $123,816. And if you do the math, this means that the golf tournament only raised $14,398, which doesn't make sense whatsoever, seeing as it normally raises at a minimum $30,000, right? This doesn't make sense whatsoever, and a bunch of people thought this was a little suspicious, so they started looking into it, right? I mean, the report should look more like 149,000 or something like that, and that's just me throwing a random number together, just as an example. What's even more strange is that in 2019, this was the last year that Indieland or the Completionist actually released what the live stream made. And never again did they do this, even though in past years they did, honestly and straightforwardly told everybody how much money they were able to make for the research and stuff like that. And honestly, that's a little bit strange. That's a little bit weird, Why are you hiding it, right? I'm not going to get into all the research and all the numbers. If you're interested, I recommend checking out Karl Jobst video, or SomeOrdinaryGamers video, where they break it down a whole lot better than myself. This is more of a summarized version and quick to the point, letting everybody know what's going on, I love internet drama. I just love internet drama so much. To make a long story short, you can go on Tiltify and see how much money Indieland made in 2021, and Karl Jobst breaks this down on his channel to where Open Hand should have made around $111,000 from Tiltify, and $25,000 from the grant that the Syzygy Foundation, founded by Jamie Lee Curtis, adding it all up to around $136,000, which is indeed stated on the tax document. The problem with this is that it means that the golf tournament isn't even listed, right? The golf tournament isn't listed, and it did occur, right? We have pictures that it was there. It did happen, So where'd the money go? We don't know. We don't know where the money went. I've got no idea. Maybe you have it. And the thing is as well, based off pictures of the event, we know that it happened, as well as we know who their sponsors were, right? We know exactly how much money they made, right? We know exactly how much money they made because they have a tier system to their donation system, right? Like, you have different tiers of sponsorship. And, that's not even counting the money that is from the live stream, right? Tiltify is its own separate thing, right? You go to Tiltify and donate, but there's more than just Tiltify. That's the bits, the subs, all that stuff on the live stream. And I will say this, just because this was brought up yesterday on a video, that a lot of stuff, it could be going into the expenses, that's true, but at the same time, that's a lot of money just for expenses, to be fair, right? It seems a little strange, like, it seems to be a lot of money that's missing. I mean, I could see, a couple, maybe like $10,000 or something for expenses, but the amount of money that's just gone missing doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, it seems a little suspicious, to be honest. Money just doesn't go to nowhere, right? It just doesn't disappear, right? So the question is, where is it? How much is it? And why didn't it get donated, right? Technically, that's 3 questions. I don't know how to count. Maybe Open Hand is just like me, and they don't know how to count either. We do know, though, as I said, how much the golf tournament made that year based off of pictures from the event, pictures of sponsor lists, and we can compare this list to their tier list, which consists of 2 diamond tiers, which amount to $8,000 per, and 1 platinum tier, which is $7,500 per, and 6 gold tiers sponsors, which amount to $6,500. Not to mention there are other sponsors which I didn't even name. You know, the silver tier, donations, just normal. You can straight up donate. You can go in and play with a friend. You pay $1,500. You can play as a friend. And this all, just that, not even counting that, it adds up to $62,500. And that's just the minimum, right? So where did that money go? Because I don't think expenses are like that much money. I could say I don't quite know, but it still doesn't seem like it should be that much money. Did all the golf money go straight to expenses of the year? I highly doubt it, but the fact that that's exactly what's missing seems a little bit suspicious. And it's just gone. It's just gone. The money disappeared without a trace. We don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. Openhand didn't get it, or at least they did. They didn't report it, which is, again, definitely sketchy. And this occurs from 2019 onwards, which is essentially when everything started getting a little strange. Like, it started in 2019. And the thing is, all of their donation history is easily accessible on the internet. This was done plainly and for all to see, and the fact that nobody saw this or thought anything of it is crazy. And if you go to the golf website, their information page, they have a table or a tab on which to send payment to, and basically it's just their address. They say write a check and send it here, which is, again, a little bit suspicious. So since it's allegedly not going to Openhand, according to the tax documents, where is it going? Who knows? Not me. I don't know. The aforementioned YouTubers, Karl Jobst and SomeOrdinaryGamers, looked through the public 990 PF tax filings of Openhand Foundation, and this was done 2 or 3 weeks ago, depending on when this video comes out. And what they found was that Openhand had donated a large amount of $0 to any charitable organizations, and that they were in possession of $65,520, which is supposed to be distributed amongst various charitable organizations, including, as was stated before, Alzheimer's Association of America, the University of San Francisco, some kind of research there, as well as the Association for FTD. And so these are just some examples. I know that whether these groups did get, I don't know if these people got money or not. I'm just saying is it had the organization had $65,000, which they didn't give when they were supposed to give. When they said they were giving, they were talking to people. They were like, "Hey, can we give you some money? We're asking some questions." No, they weren't even asking questions, right? They weren't even doing that. Anyhow, like proper investigative journalists, Karl and SomeOrdinaryGamers Mutahar interviewed Gerard to obtain his side of the story, right? You're supposed to do that. It's good investigative journalism, not to be one-sided, right? And he confirmed that he knew, as of 2022, that this money was just sitting in this account. It wasn't moving. It wasn't going anywhere. And here's part of that interview.
To answer your question, Karl, I don't have an answer. You know, I think that's my up. I have personally donated to AFTD and Alzheimer's Association over the years, and that's where, again, I assumed the money was going there to support them as we were talking negotiations about working with them. I don't really have a true answer for that, and that's on me completely, and I will own up to that. But, you know, again, it doesn't matter. You guys are going to say what you're going to say, and I can't stop it. But the important thing is that all the money is still in the account. None of it's spent erroneously. It's all above board. Like it's not hiding in a Cayman account or anything like that. Yeah, and that's the thing about 501Cs is that, like, if I did any of that, the minute I did any malpractice of that nature, literally the government would be like, "Hey, we're coming after you." And that's, right. You know, at least legally speaking, everything's above board. And I understand that the question isn't so much legality and so much more about morality in, you know, me advertising this event and showing people sponsors and all that stuff.
He even confirmed that he had no idea the money was donated since at least 2022.
I knew it was sitting there at a certain point, and that's what made me proactively go about it. Like,
do you know when that point was?
I was made aware in 2021 when the money hadn't moved yet. Okay. And that's what made me go, that's not cool. And that's when I got personally involved to move it. And
did anyone
2021 last year, 2022.
Yeah, did anyone tell you that the money was going somewhere before then? Were you being misled?
No. No one told me anything. I assumed that it was all going to a charity, and I assumed incorrectly.
He then hosted in 2023 another event, another IndieLand event, I suppose. I don't know if it's IndieLand or not, where he said that Open Hand was searching for charities to give the money to, and that the money from that stream would go right toward one of those charities, while in reality, they weren't even talking to anybody. They were still like with their little telescope, just looking around. Where can we take this money to? I don't know. We don't know where we're putting the money. We're just gonna leave it sit there.
We are raising money for dementia research in honor of my late mom, trying to help folks who've been impacted by dementia, working with organizations like USF, FTD Association of America, Alzheimer's Association of America, and so many more.
Do our own version of that every year and kind of make it a cool celebration of games and raise money for charity. And so he was like, I wish we had a charity that we could donate to. And I was like, oh, I run my own charity called the Open Hand Foundation, and all the money that we aggregate, I started it when I was a young boy with my dad in honor of my mom who had dementia. And so we just every year we try and raise as much money as possible, and then we go work with Alzheimer's Association of America, University of San Francisco, Association for FTD, which is what my mom had, FTD. So we've worked with big and small organizations across the board, and he was like, it'd be really cool if we did a show all about raising money for people who are making huge headways in dementia research and prevention and all that stuff. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. We have the organization to do it. We just, need to come up with a theme. And so, yeah, we're going to have it probably next year. No promises, but so for those guys who don't know, we had a show last year, and it went great, but it was very expensive, and TOBG covered the cost of it, but we have kind of a rule of we want to make sure that as we do charity events that we're not costing the charity organization or really anyone outside of our awesome sponsors. The guys at FlyQuest who've been so supportive, we want to make sure that the money that we do raise actually goes to charity and is spent properly. And so, surprise, surprise, hosting a convention-like event is very expensive.
Well, in reality, the money was never donated, it sat in an account, losing its value to inflation, and of course, research was lost over time, because it never got paid to be done.
No contact was made, and they were still actively searching just to make contact with, which is absolutely insane. And that was back in November, right? This all was back in November when they had this event. They knew pretty, they knew what was going on. So he knew from 2022, and then in 2023 also said, hey, this money is going places. When we discovered 3 weeks ago, it's not. And that seems a little bit bad. I'm not going to lie. It seems a little bit bad. The good thing was, at least the money's all there, right? Nobody's taking the money. Nobody's using it for nefarious purposes. They can at least tell that no money was stolen, right, from that. But the thing is, where's the other money at? Where's the golf money? I don't know. We don't know where that went for all those years. We don't know where that went. All we know is that the money that we do have, we're not stealing it. So that's good, I guess. So here's where we get to the good news. I know, God forbid I say anything good on this YouTube channel. I'm all about negativity, right? On December 4th, the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration, or AFTD, announced in an article on Street Insider that they received a donation of $600,000 from Open Hand Foundation, and the link to that article is in the description. And this is great. Granted, way late, insanely late. Should have done months ago. Gerard knew about 2022. Should have been done a year ago, right? That's just my opinion. I'm just saying it should have been done a while ago. I think a lot of people think this, Honestly, though, I think it's great that the money made it where it was supposed to go. And honestly, I think that it will go to a worthy cause. It went to a worthy cause. I think that they're going to use that money to benefit lots of people, hopefully millions of people in time to come, right? Granted, however, you know, I hate to sound like... I don't know, but what about all that money, right? He says it went to expenses. I don't know if it went to expenses or not. I mean, we don't know what happened to that money. I assume it could possibly. He says it went to the cost of productions. That may be the case. I'm not going to say he's lying because it is entirely plausible. I'm just saying that if we go and look probably at all the years and find exactly how much money just disappeared, I'm sure that we can tell that that probably isn't the expenses. You know, I don't think that much money is the expenses for like just some events. I mean, I don't think that. I think they hold 2 yearly events, right? Maybe more. I don't know. I didn't look into it. But at the same time, I don't think it's that much money. Me personally, it could, it might. Maybe he's not lying. Maybe I'm lying. Would you know? I'm not lying. I'm just kidding. That's a lie. I am lying. No, that's also. I'm just kidding. That's a lie as well. Since this all came out last week on Sunday, basically the Completionist released a response to the many hurtful allegations, and it's a pretty interesting response. You know, he says a lot of different things, refutes a lot of different points that Mutahar and whatever Karl made. You know, and a lot of stuff makes sense. He's got a lot of receipts to back some of his stuff up, which could mean that this is all, you know, doesn't mean anything, and he could be completely telling the truth. And if he is, you know what? Good for him, right? And that good for them that they had this honesty. But the thing is, somebody's got to hold everybody accountable, right? I hope that people hold me accountable. You know, if I was doing something bad, you know, even if I'm not, you know, people looking into it, I'm not gonna be mad at him. Honestly, he went and talked to his lawyer. That's the smartest thing you could do in this situation. Go talk to your lawyer, see what's up, say, hey, a bunch of people are saying this stuff about me, you know, what can I do about it? And the lawyer gives him a script and tells him, go on YouTube, read this script to him and tell him what's going down. And he's like, all right, you know, that's great, you know, it's smart. The not so smart thing to do is threatening them with an absolute lawsuit for defamation, right? He's threatening Mutahar and Karl with a lawsuit of defamation and slander, which is absolutely hilarious. Like, why? Oh, well, I guess we all know why. But still, you know? I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited to see how this all plays out, right? This video is long enough. I'm not going through Mutahar's response video because it is literally an hour long. And I do not want to sit through another hour-long video for research, right? And this video is already insanely long. So, I'll leave the link down below. If you're so inclined, you can go check it out. Honestly, I recommend it. See what he's saying, see his counterpoints. I'm going to wait and see what becomes of this. Maybe we'll make another video. Maybe not. We'll have to see here. But Open Hand should have definitely donated that money, right? That's the obvious thing we can take away from here. It should have been donated quite a while ago. Especially when you're publicly telling everybody that you're donating it, right? Because that's lying. But what do I know, right? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments. This is pretty interesting thing, so I'm interested in seeing what you all have to say and looking forward to reading them. So please be sure to comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and be sure to subscribe and comment that you subscribe to have a chance to be listed in the next video. I am doing this, however, it has slowed down a little bit to where it's kind of hindering me from doing this. So I'm just saying I'm not doing it. It's just I want, like, at minimum 4 names to put up. I know that sounds pretty stupid and stuff, but yeah, because it looks better. It looks better on a video. But yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, hit it. If you enjoyed the video, obviously, it helps the video perform really well and is greatly appreciated. Thank you. You have a nice day.